Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steve and Larson, filmed live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, where we have loyalty badges now and a new emote. And then we're also found wherever podcasts can be found. Tonight on SmackDown, we had a bar fight. Naomi explained the whole Naomi deserves better hashtag thing. But man, most importantly, we learned that Big E's getting a singles push, baby. Larson, what should his first thing be now that he's on his own?
Beating Braun Strowman for the was that the Universal title? That.
This Friday. Next Friday, like a week from today, right?
Yeah, very first thing. Put the Universal title on.
Okay, so...
He's the absolute best. He is the absolute best. He is the most entertaining.
He's in our intro. He's in our intro.
Yeah. He's the absolute best.
He's the greatest.
By far the most entertaining performer in all of WWE.
Bring back the 5 count. Bring back the 5 count. I don't know if we're going to see that Big E, because that was a mean Big E. That being said, realistically, a guy who is immensely popular with not much of a proven track record on the singles end of things.
Well, it's been a while.
It's been a very long time.
Prior to New Day, he is a former Intercontinental Champion. Don't forget that.
Yeah, sure.
Based on, maybe I'm reading too much into the structure of the show, so that segment where Kofi told Big E, I'm injured, I'm going to be out 6 weeks, Woods is out still, it's time to focus on you. Right after that, we see AJ Styles making his way down to the ring. Now, when you're doing editing exercises in film school, part of the thing is you make connections and determine meaning based on 2 shots that are put next to each other.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to apply that same idea to that...
I wouldn't, but go ahead.
Then we might be seeing Big E in a program for the Intercontinental title.
That would seem to make the most sense. I think that they would probably... That's a great way to test the waters to see if this is something that people want. Spoiler alert.
Oh, everybody wants it. Everybody wants
do.
It.
We do. We all want it. I think this is terrific. And yeah, I wonder how they're going to get, if they're going to give him enhancement matches to start. Are they going to put him in a feud that isn't quite at AJ Styles yet? I mean, obviously he's got Grand Metalik next week. That'll be a win for AJ, but if any match is going to show us what we've been missing with Grand Metalik sort of being relegated to either 205 or in a tag team or whatever, it's going to be this match with AJ. That match should be really, really outstanding.
Yeah, it should be really good. Should be really good.
But no, I mean, it's funny because, like, you know, you're Big E, suddenly you're a singles guy. Like the Kofi stuff, kind of like when Kofi went on his singles run, it was kind of organic. Like he had an opportunity, you know, he was given an opportunity, and then he talked about, you know, his story was, I've been here for so long. Mm-hmm. You know, where's my opportunity? And it was him taking advantage of those things. Mm-hmm. Now Big E is in a position where he has to make this opportunity for himself, you know? Mm-hmm. And how is he going to do that? What path are they going to take him on? I'm really looking forward to this. I'm trying not to get my hopes too high. 6 weeks is not a very long time.
No.
Hopefully he's able, like, just maybe even the response to the announcement that he's going to get a singles push, maybe that is enough to open Vince's eyes and say, okay, wow, this is something I can really take seriously. Mm-hmm. Let's run with it beyond the 6 week window that Kofi seemingly has. Do we know this Kofi thing? Is that just him taking some time off? Okay.
No idea.
All right.
Here's the thing, though. This has popped in my head, and I could be completely off base, but if something like this had occurred about 2 months ago,
mm-hmm.
Around the time of a particular ladder match,
mm-hmm.
perfect opportunity for Big E to catapult himself into the main event scene by getting that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
Yep, that'd have been good.
Perfect.
That'd have been good stuff.
Perfect.
That'd have been good stuff. But instead, we got Otis and Mandy next week, looking to do some sort of live grotesque sex show. So yeah. Anyways, I'm curious. I want to know what the friendos think about this in the comments below, man. How would you approach this Big E singles push? What would you do?
All the belts immediately, all of them.
Okay, there's a thing called. But what about a build, Larson? You got to build up a story first.
Well, he's been in the WWE for what, 7-8 years? That's the build.
That's his story.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Put all the belts on. I'm not saying you have to do it all next week.
How about this? But this, okay.
At SummerSlam, he wins all the belts. That's 4 weeks. That's
I'm going to throw this idea out there. All right. Next week, Otis and Mandy are back to consummate their love relationship on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
In front of everybody. Otis is revealed. He goes, he thinks, man, I don't know how to have sex because he's never done it before. He goes up to Big E, says, hey, you're a sexual man. I see you thrusting the hips all the time. How do I do it? And Big E says, here, how about this? You give me your briefcase, and in exchange, I will go to the ring and show you how it's done with Mandy. So Otis, Dullard, gives over the briefcase. Big E goes, consummates the love relationship with Mandy, and then cashes in, post-coital cash in, because Braun is all swamped out. He's got toxic algae from Dirty Swamp.
No, man, that's organic swamp, man.
I know Bray said that, but I have my doubts. And he cashes in.
Nary a molecule of alligator poop in that swamp.
And boom, he's the new champion. Brilliant. I just did it. There's not a better situation than that one. So yeah, let us know in the comments how awesome I am that I just came out with that story. Yeah. So anyways, there was also the much ballyhooed bar fight. Larson, what did you think about this throwdown in a pub?
Pretty middle of the road.
It wasn't
terrible.
Bad though.
No, that's what middle of the road means. It wasn't
no,
good.
I know. But
mediocre.
I'm affirming what you're saying. It wasn't bad. It was, you're right. It was middle of the road.
As if to contradict what I say.
No.
It wasn't bad, but at the same time, it didn't rise above the typical trappings of a WWE cinematic effort. It was better than the Adam Cole Velveteen Dream one.
That's any cinematic match you could say that still is the most bizarre. Like you just never knew where they were. That was just bad.
The geography was never really laid out for you, and on top of that, it was just kind of boring.
It was boring. It was just really dark
and boring.
and boring.
I mean, like in this one, someone got their head shoved in a urinal. That's something different. Don't see that very often.
I like some of the bits in this. Yeah,
Sheamus got his foot stuck in a snare drum. That was cool.
Yeah, I like the magical face paint. That was cool. That was a cool touch. You know, my only real issue.
That one kind of I couldn't suspend my disbelief enough to know that Sheamus had a magical hat that would lead to Jeff Hardy getting face paint.
I don't think that was the premise of that particular spot, but I wish it was because Sheamus he's got the leprechauns are magical.
All right.
Okay, so anyway. Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, here's my thing. You said the hat was magic, so I try to figure out the best thing ever.
Sometimes just let things be.
I can't. You've known me for 20 years. When have I ever been able to do that?
Just let it be. Sometimes you got to let things be.
Anyways, look, I'm sorry. I have no sympathy. This guy's going around calling Jeff Hardy a junkie for the last 2 months. I'm supposed to go easy on the guy?
How many hours did Jeff Hardy have to do this thing with his clothes soaked in booze? Because like one of the early spots is they did the slide across the bar like they did at Stadium Stampede, ripping off that spot.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff Hardy gets slid across the bar, drinks getting knocked over and stuff. So, if he had to walk around that pub soaked in booze, reeking of booze. That would suck.
Yeah, that would, even if you're not like sober, like even if you're not a guy in recovery, that would suck. That would, because you're all sticky and stuff.
Stale beer is one of the worst smells too. Gosh. Like
it's the worst.
Stale beer.
It's the worst, and then it's sticky. Here's my main thought about the bar fight. I liked it. I thought it was fine. It wasn't. I liked it better. I think the swamp match tried to be creative, but it kind of just was
ponderous,
long and ponderous, and not very good. There wasn't a lot going on there. I liked it better than that. I liked it way better, I liked it way better than the Cole Velveteen Dream match. It was on par. I like Boneyard was better than this for a couple reasons. But it was kind of in the same vein as Boneyard. My main thing is, man, get a nicer camera, film it better, get like a fog machine and just turn it on for like 10 seconds. A little bit of fog, like Peaky Blinders. Watch a pub scene in Peaky Blinders. I know they got a fog machine in that because it just looks smoky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the idea is that there's people smoking in there. That was the idea, though. How do you motivate the smoke?
I've been to a smoking bar before, like right before pandemic. There's one in Santa Cruz. I was shocked. I did not know that was even allowed.
That was allowed.
We go in there and I'm looking at this poor bartender. And I'm like, dude, I didn't know. I didn't say this, but I'm like, why are you in this career right now? Because you probably have cancer. You probably have that. So look, man, I'm not saying that it would be it would make sense given that by and large smoking's not allowed in pubs. Yeah. It just would look cool. I want atmosphere. I want it to look cool. I'd letterbox the damn thing and make it and light it nicely, as opposed to using the same cameras you had in the ring and everywhere else backstage.
Well, I'm sure this is in defense of that approach. I'm sure they were like, all right, how much time we got here? Oh, you got 4 hours. All right.
That's exactly what it is. I'm just saying, hey, if I was in charge of this thing and they gave me a bunch more time, maybe I'd do that.
Have you ever heard of I don't know the exact name for it, but I was working on independent film when I was at college, and the director of photography, actually after college, told me you get 2 of these 3 things when making a movie: good, fast, and cheap. You get 2 out of the 3. You don't get all 3.
Yeah, that applies with everything. I've heard that. You literally, that phrase applies to any freaking business, pretty
just
much.
About. Just about.
Because I'm the same thing. I always heard that when it applies to comic book artists. You can either get a guy who's good, fast, or cheap. Or I think sometimes they threw in there like easy to work with, good, and cheap. Maybe it was that. No, I don't know what it was. Anyways. But yeah, because like a lot of comic book artists, they might be dicks, but if they're really good, then it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll put up with it. Yeah,
exactly. Or if they're on time, they're meeting I think it was meeting their deadlines is one of them. Whatever.
Well, I consider that being good. You're good at your job. That means you're adept at the art, but also you're a professional.
Going in raw math on comic book artists. Rob Liefeld, what is he, Larson?
He can't draw feet.
Oh man, but I don't know. He was like the Hogan of comic book artists. Like Hogan couldn't wrestle, but he had that thing. He had the energy, man.
Yeah, but sometimes you need to show a foot.
Do you though? Do you really? Nobody kicked in Youngblood. Anyways,
should have maybe. Maybe Cable should have kicked somebody over.
Maybe. I'm sorry. Hold on. Listen to this. Speaking of kicking things off was some video package stuff of Jeff. Well, no, it wasn't. It was promos. Jeff Hardy said some stuff which I didn't catch because I got a new monitor. It doesn't have like sound, so I was like, "Oh, crap,
he did hi, my name is Jeff Hardy, and I'm an alcoholic."
Oh, okay.
He did that.
Okay.
And he goes, tonight I'm going to face Sheamus in an old enemy or a new enemy. I can't remember which one it was. I just have new, so hopefully what he said. A bar. Tonight I slay my demons once more. That's that Sheamus talks. It says something like, Jeff is going to finally realize this is where he belongs, and he's going to find himself in a better place, lying on the floor of a bar. He said he's going to crush him, and the only thing that's going to make him feel better is booze to drown his sorrows. And then JBL pop up a couple times.
Yeah, the Matt Chat question, JBL, and he said he was just talking about how him and Ron Simmons used to drink a lot in the APA, and they know about bar fights, they know about bars, and this is going to be a wild bar fight or some stuff like that.
Yeah.
After that, we're in the ring, and Sasha and Bayley come out, and they drop some words on us. The first thing is a little gag about the definition of greatness. Again, whoever's writing this stuff, overwriting it.
You're going to say that first when she said the definition of greatness. I know Steve was going to have an issue with it.
They're gonna start. I mean, look, the delivery's fine, but you can always tell when it's that one person. Anyway, so they talk about how greatness is defined in the dictionary, and then they're like, hey, but we just redefined greatness. Take a look, and it's a picture of them next to the word greatness. Bayley says, however, they sort of say, if you chase your dreams, if you work really hard, you can achieve greatness. And Bayley says, but remember, no matter how hard you try, you'll never be as good as us. Mm-hmm. Nikki Cross interrupts. She's got FPOS rib tape because of the body shot from who is it, Bayley at Extreme Rules. Mm-hmm. And she wants a title shot, and Bayley's like, okay, you can have this match. This is actually really clever writing. You can have that match if you can beat the former SmackDown champion, the future Hall of Famer, Alexa Bliss. It was
before she says all that, and then she looks at Sasha.
Yeah, she's teasing that it's Sasha.
Alexa Bliss. That was really good. It was well done.
And earlier, Alexa was like, Nikki, we don't need to be doing this right now. You need to be healing up your ribs. And Nikki was like, she was fired up. She was super fired up.
She says, we have to do this. And then she pushes Alexa down and goes to the ring.
Yeah.
We have to do this.
This is kind of what I was talking about when somebody was asking us about a potential split between Alexa and Nikki. It's Alexa's the person that sort of keeps Nikki calm. She's able to sort of bring her back down. And if something sort of triggers Nikki so hard that it makes her snap, as we saw tonight, that could lead to their split. I think that'd be much more interesting than Alexa doing the Mean Girls thing again. Mm-hmm. So after that, we have this match. I'll be honest with you, man. I thought that the story of this match, it could have been a lot more intriguing had Bayley and Sasha not been on commentary, because they were really stealing the show. And I'm not necessarily, I thought they were entertaining enough, but I didn't think it was in a way that really helped with this match. Like, I thought that this match should have been a bit more.
It didn't do much to advance. It's the story being told in the ring.
And it's that's kind of a big story. Like, best friends going at it, and whoever wins gets a title shot.
Yeah.
And the storytelling in the ring was, if you had it muted, it was actually pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. They were very tentative with each other at first. Yeah. And then eventually, like, Nikki was like, no, I got to turn it up a notch. And starts, laying the smackdown on Alexa. Alexa starts going harder. And then Nikki gets like a really sneaky, maybe cowardly win. Not cowardly, but, sneaky anyways.
No, it's not cowardly, because
she played possum and got a roll up.
Yeah, so Nikki hits a Scorpion Death Drop on Alexa, gets a 2. She goes up top, goes for a crossbody out the top. Alexa evades. Little Nate, who was the ref for the match, goes and checks on her. She says, no, I want to continue. She gets up, rolls up Alexa to get the win.
That being said, I thought it was this, man. I thought that Sasha and Bayley are actually really good. They're really fun on commentary. It's just,
they are.
This was not the match to do that. And in fact, I laughed out loud at one moment because Corey Graves or Michael Cole, no, maybe it was Michael Cole, said, Bayley said, yeah, I made this match because I like to be unpredictable or something like that. I like surprises. And then Michael Cole said, well, why aren't you the GM of SmackDown then? And then they said, and Sasha said, ask Vince. And then I didn't.
A Vince laugh.
And I didn't see who actually did the impression because the camera cut away. But somebody said, great idea. I was dying. So one of those girls did a freaking Vince impression.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud.
Here's the thing. You're not supposed to mention Vince on air, period.
Right. And when Sasha said, because Sasha's the one who said, ask Vince.
Yeah.
It's like she did that with a little bit of defiance in her tone, Mm-hmm. I liked that. As she said, ask Vince, great. And the camera goes, good idea.
That was good. That was pretty great. After that, we have a brief little bit between Nikki and Alexa backstage. Alexa says, hey, you got one over on me, but it's all right. Hands her a bottle of water. She says, you earned it tonight, Nikki. I'm happy for you. They hug. And she says, now it's time to focus. Next week, get title shot against Bayley. Focus.
Yeah. Alexa was very like, I like that that they're not so, one-dimensional. Like she's, okay, I get this. I understand why she's doing this, and I accept her for who she is. Because they could easily use this for like a cheesy split. After that, I mean, they might still. What do I know? After that, We had a Firefly Funhouse where we get Bray's version of a swamp fight recap, and we come out of that with a close-up on the head lantern, which is evidently the trapping device for the spirit of past Bray Wyatt. Which, I mean, you can see when he first debuted as the Fiend in ring, he had that, and it was shocking. Yeah. And you could understand the symbolism there, but I really love that he's actually added that.
Yeah, it's the vessel
to the mythology of it all. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So he says, so he's the lantern is talking to him, and he's like, "You had your chance. Now it's his turn." Talking about the Fiend. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "He has been unleashed," and then he says, "Bye." That lantern is creepy as hell, man.
It really is. I never really realized it, but the handle of the lantern is hair. It's tangled hair.
I knew there was hair on it. Yeah, his dreadlocks were on it.
There's hair on it, but I didn't know the actual handle.
Oh, I didn't notice that either.
It's like tangled up hair.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, but he also sort of, let us know that Braun didn't die in the purely 100% organic swamp.
Yeah, it's organic. Like I said, no alligator poop in that swamp.
Sort of
all organic.
I don't think that's actually a thing. I have doubts about Bray Wyatt, man. Anyways, I have no doubt about this match. Matt Riddle versus Tony Nese. Was this even 5 minutes long?
No, but it was fun while it lasted. It was really short, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was just for me. I was like, wow, I was only gave Tony Nese 5 minutes with Matt Riddle.
Well, they got high hopes for Matt Riddle, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Tony Nese got a little bit of offense in. There's this weird bit where Riddle powers out of a headlock. He's trying for a Bo Derek, but he doesn't hit it. And they try to say like Tony Nese need his way out, but I didn't notice it. So it's entirely possible. It just seemed like a really weird, like non-finish of the match. But then Riddle hits a bunch of offense, some strikes, exploder, a PK, and then hits Bo Derek for the win. So maybe it was scripted that way. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have just been a botch. Hey, can you plug out and plug back in?
Sure.
So after the match, Matt Riddle calls out, "Baron Corbin, King Corbin." And he comes out and he's like, "You don't call out a king. You need to put a formal request in. But I would deny it. You don't belong here. You should go back to NXT."
Well, I like this. He says, "Sure, you got some talent, but you're like a new car with that new car smell. But eventually, that smell fades. You don't belong in a professional environment like SmackDown. You should go back to NXT for more seasoning. Or after that win, 205 Live."
Yeah, he's like, "You could be a top guy at 205. So
Way to
yeah,
insult 205 Live, Baron.
Oh, I know. So then he puts out a king's ransom on Riddle's head. So it's a bounty of sorts on Riddle's head. The first man to try to take advantage of this, and John Wick style, attacking from behind Tony Nese, who has recovered from the Bo Derek. But then Matt Riddle with his spidey sense turned around, gave him a big old kick to the head.
Kicked him right in the head.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Right in the head.
Matt Riddle is the new 24/7 title. People are going to be chasing him around for that King's Ransom. What do you think the King's Ransom is? I hope it's meat. Because, man, Baron's Instagram is just chock full of him cooking up some good-looking meat.
Barbecue and some food. I know it looks good. Grilled steaks. Great. Yeah. Here, have a box of Omaha steaks.
There you go.
Next, we have this quick bit of Miz and Morrison backstage. They're in front of a laptop. Morrison is talking about how it's all about hashtags. This is all to preface Miz TV with Naomi, and then he pitches a bunch of hashtags to Miz, and they're all like convoluted, way too long. Miz just dismisses them all, says, "Hey, come on, we have a show to do." We find out the hashtag that Morrison finally decides on, though, later on.
More Morrison.
Yes.
We found that out next. It was on Miz TV. And
you forgetting the JBL thing. He's hyping up. He makes his pick. He says Jeff Hardy's going to get redemption. His Matt Chat question. You don't ignore a Matt Chat question from JBL.
If JBL actually sent us a Matt Chat question, I would totally not ignore that one. The others? Nah, I'm joking. I do. I think I do pretty well on Matt Chat tomorrow with Brian Zane. Wait, did we mention that at the head of the show?
We did not, but you just mentioned it now.
Tomorrow morning, right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson, and where podcasts can be found, we got the Z-Man Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret live, not live, but with us
not live.
on Matt Chat, answering your questions It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. As you said, Larson, sometimes you got to mix things up a little bit. If it's just you and me, always, constantly for 10 plus years, it is exhausting looking at your dumb face. But no. Good impression of a dumb face. But no, Brian Zane is on, and he's absolutely terrific.
Yeah,
we have a lot of fun. I'll give you just a little sneak peek here. Somebody asks, who else would you want to see do the live sex show? I give no less and no more than 4 answers.
I'm honestly pretty underwhelmed that you only had 4.
Oh, I could have gone all day, but
that
we
was
had
your wheelhouse, man.
We had a guest. We had a guest. I can't overshadow the guest.
You didn't want to take up the whole hour answering that one question.
It's not my show. It's our show. Anyways.
No, it's the Friendo show. They submit the question. The questions to us, we answer them. And thank you to Brian Zane for taking the time out of his day to join us for Match Chat. It's a lot of fun. I hope everybody checks it out.
Yeah, man, and it's something that we've sort of decided on, like on a monthly basis. We're going to bring on a guest so that these questions will be answered not just by you and me, but by a third man, brother.
You got that right.
So we had Miz TV after that, unless I missed anything else.
Nope.
Got it. I did go to the kitchen for a second to get some chicken nuggets.
That sounds good.
Yeah, Morrison was talking about hashtag more Morrison trending. And then, dude, was this a dig? So they like said they were doing this gag where they're like, oh, it's grossed me out. Yeah, I gave it 4 Seth's vomiting. And then he said something about, is he okay? He looks sick. Maybe he's not working out or something. And I didn't know if that was a dig at somebody or if it was a...
Yeah, no, I heard that too. He's not working out. There's a couple things he said. But one of them, he's not eating well. And he's not working out or something like that. I don't know.
Did Seth say something recently that might have caused these two to want to get a dig in? I don't know.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think I tweeted. It was Seth's tweet that we talked about on News Briefs today about it being golden age of wrestling.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Pretty sure I followed Seth on Twitter, so if there was something else he had said.
Well, it just...
Not to impress.
It was one of those things that... It was one of those things that it just, like, when he said it, it was so like an aside. Yeah, not working out and depressed. It was so like an aside that I was like, was that? It felt like a dig.
I wonder if it's just a thing where he's such a changed person now after taking someone's eye that he's just not himself anymore. That's how I interpreted it.
Okay, I mean, it could all be within the realm of kayfabe. So anyways, their guest was Naomi to talk about the Naomi Deserves Better hashtag. I actually chuckled a little bit when her music hit and they both started dancing. I thought that was kind of funny, to be honest with you.
It was pretty funny.
So anyways, of course they do this shtick where they interview her, but they're kind of like, being dicks.
It's all passive-aggressive insults.
Yeah, they're like, she talks about how the fan support behind her is her motivation and she does everything for them because they lift her up. They say, yeah, but how does it feel to be trending because you're losing? Miz was like, me and Morrison, we were trending when we dropped a music video, but your return and loss at the Rumble and your loss last week got you trending. Doesn't that make you sick to your stomach? And they were trying to goad her into doing the Seth Rollins 5 vomiting stars thing. It was kind of a stupid
no, I think you're making me sick to my stomach.
They're like, how sick?
Yeah.
So yeah, Naomi says, she's like, this next bit, she actually got there was some volume in her voice and they let her actually get what seemed like some real frustrations out about, the fans are pissed about Lacey attacking her over a karaoke contest. And she gets pretty heated with this particular explanation, and it's really good. And then they're like, oh, man, it's really awkward because we have a surprise guest. Here's Lacey Evans.
Yeah, she asked them a question. She says, have you gotten your ass kicked so bad you got a pity hashtag? They're like, no. And she says, Naomi, you've been here more than a decade and don't have much to show for it, and you're as washed up as you ever have been. And she turns around, tries to put up some lipstick. Naomi comes over, pushes her. They brawl for a little bit. Lacey leaves. And she's really upset that her lipstick got up on her cheek a little bit.
Yeah, and then so Lacey goes on the run. Again, I laughed again because after all this, Naomi's music hits and then Miz and Morrison start dancing along with her. Or she wasn't. Yeah, she put on Lacey Evans'
Lacey's
hat.
hat and was dancing a little bit.
Yeah, and they were
And
dancing
then
in the
she
background.
flings it like a frisbee out. And yeah, Miz and Morrison were dancing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's a really difficult thing because there are no fans around to vocalize live and in person the Naomi deserves better thing. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be... It's a WWE, so my inclination is to think this is the one time, this is the one moment they are giving Naomi to address and thank her fans for this hashtag, and then they're going to move on from it.
They'll carry on however they were going to do business to begin with. Yes.
I mean, ideally, they will actually put her in some stories that, you know, make full use of what she has to offer, even if it's with Lacey Evans. You know, I'd be fine with that. But, like, you know, I do think that WWE has a big opportunity here. I think a lot of people really want to see Naomi succeed in it, and I think that she has all the tools to do it.
Definitely. After that, we see Big E and Kofi backstage, and that's when Kofi tells Big E that he's going to be out for 6 weeks. And he's like, yeah, it'll be an opportunity for me to spend some time with my family, but it's an opportunity for you to do a singles run. He says, look at it this way. The universe is talking. Woods is out. I'm out. It's your time. And Kofi says, hey, during his title run, his title push, Big E was selfless. He was all about New Day. And he says, now is the right time to show what you can do. And don't let them deny you for a decade before you get your opportunity. And he says, put your meat on my meat. They hug. That was great. I'll start using that.
It was,
put your meat on my meat.
It was awesome.
And like Big E was humble. He was like, no, I'm all. Like even still then, he was all about the New Day. He's all about the group.
They have an opportunity here to tell a really cool story. Hopefully they do. I mean, hey, if this is one of those things where, you know, if Daniel Bryan is part of creative, maybe let him slide in there, you know, and book some of this stuff. Yeah, I really want to see this, you know, succeed, man. After that, we had a fatal four-way for the #1 contendership to AJ Styles Intercontinental Championship. Drew Gulak versus Grand Metalik versus Lince Dorado versus Shorty G.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
So throughout this match, specifically with Metalik, but also with Lince, AJ was getting names wrong.
Yeah.
Do you think he actually knew what Grand Metalik's name was?
I think he probably does.
Okay, I'd like to hope so.
I see. I think that was just him being a heel, dude.
I'm sure it was, but he was pretty convincing at it. That's why I bring it up. Because the first time he called him, I can't remember, he called him something else. And then his name got brought up again. He was trying to pronounce it. And that's when he tries to, and Cole corrects him. And Corey Graves says something like, oh, I think there's an N in there. Because I think he was saying mental leak or something like that.
Yeah, he was like metal leak.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, the only reason why I pause on that question is because he thinks the earth is flat. It's the only reason why I pause on that. But at the same time, like, he has been around a long time. And
I asked the question partially in jest, yes.
And it honestly wouldn't surprise me. Well, no, that's why I know, but at the same time, I don't know. I would think that, like, maybe some of this is AJ knows that him and Metalik can put on a barn burner.
Yeah. Trying to put some heat to it, yeah, because he didn't know his name. Totally.
Like, dude, if this was Hulk Hogan, he wouldn't know. He doesn't know his name. Like, he's not going to know his name. You know, if that's that kind of situation, I could see that. But I think for Grand Metalik, I think people probably know who he is.
I would hope so, because he's fantastic.
He's really good. Oh, man.
I like throughout all this, pretty much AJ's like, oh, Chad Gable's going to win.
Yeah.
Like at one point, I felt like he was trying to call a match. He's like, all right, go ahead and wrap it up now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this creative cloud is just killing my soul right now. Sorry. There's like people listening to the podcast right when you hear this freaking noise. Hold on, I'm going to write this time down. Because like I opened up my creative cloud to do the stupid Premiere thing, and now it's like, it's trying to give me notifications.
Oh dear.
Yeah, sorry. Anyways, so no, I don't know. I'm sure he knows who he is, but it's a valid Sadly, it's a valid question to ask because he thinks the Earth is flat. Well, I never said that 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. I'm just saying there's a lot of theories out there. Anyways, so this was a really fun match. It's what you'd expect from these guys, like a really good 205 Live match. It was pretty long, lots of fun. AJ in commentary was being a good heel. Metalik ended up getting the win.
I was actually expecting Gable to get the win here.
Me
Not
too.
because AJ was saying it, because I thought that might be a program for AJ for a couple weeks.
I just figured that'd be the case. I like that the Enforcer just tried to use the going in Raw fail, and, and he failed at it. It's a GIR Faye. Anyways.
This match will happen next week. A lot of great back and forth. We got a little bit between Lindsay and Metalik, where I believe Metalik pulled Lindsay off a pin after a stunner. Anybody who had won this match could put on a hell of a match against AJ next week. Gable versus AJ have been great. Lindsay, even a rematch with Drew would have been awesome. But Metalik got the win, and that should be really, 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 really good.
Yeah. After the match, AJ attacked, but Lindsay fended him off. Metalik slapped AJ.
Well, AJ extended his hand out. It's like, go ahead. And Metalik was hesitant, and AJ goes, well, if you don't do it soon, I'm going to pull it back. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as Grand Metalik kind of made a move, AJ slapped him.
Yeah.
And then Metalik slapped him back. Yeah, and they brawled a little bit. Yeah.
After that, we have, I'll be honest, like I didn't see any of that. I just saw the slap, like Lindsay getting between them, and I assumed AJ attacked. So,
yeah.
Thanks for filling me in. Yeah.
You put it together.
After that, they had an extensive Otis and Mandy love relationship video package, and we're going to get them. They're apparently out of quarantine because they're coming back to the Performance Center next week. Mm-hmm. I have no information on them actually being in quarantine. I just assume people aren't there, probably, something to do with COVID. After that, we had Kayla. Speaking of COVID, we had Kayla interviewing Shinsuke, Nakamura, and Cesaro. I liked it when Shinsuke started using the term splat.
Yeah, he said that, three times?
He was like, I really enjoyed putting Kofi through the first table and then the second table, and he says Kofi went splat.
Yeah, and then Cesaro says his only regrets that he didn't put Big E through the table. He says, hey, well, we got lucky once. We'll face him again and prove that wasn't luck. Oh, wait, Kofi's injured. We won't be facing him. Cesaro says, I doubt it's Big E's time, but it's definitely our time. Mm-hmm. And I think Nakamura said splat again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. So, I mean, I don't know. Does that mean number one? Okay, listen. There are no other tag teams on SmackDown. There's Miz and Morrison, but they are more like show hosts. And Forgotten Sons are gone. Too. And on top of that, they're bad guys. You're right. Metalik has a match against AJ next week. Now, after that, he might be available with Lindsay.
Yeah.
It's not like you can put the tag division on notice because there really isn't one.
Yeah, I know. From a matter of a short few months, we've gone from a pretty deep SmackDown tag division to basically a non-existent one.
Oos is like one of these. Jay is hurt. Jimmy's hurt.
Hurt his knee. He'll be out.
Tucker evidently has been sidelined in favor of Otis and Mandy. Forgotten Sons.
Lucha House parties. You got to have. They should have a Lucha House party program because that'd be fun. I want to see Lucha House party in the ring with Cesaro and Nakamura. That'd be great.
I don't disagree, but like, what else is there?
That's pretty much it. Heavy machinery.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But if Otis going to be a singles wrestler in the near future,
yeah. White Brownie says just call up Everrise. Who else is in NXT that isn't doing much?
Undisputed Era. Lorcan and Birch.
There you go.
Breezango.
Yeah.
They're not really doing anything consequential.
Yeah, it's funny. WWE's tag division is just not all that great.
Well, Vince doesn't like tag wrestling, right?
Seems to be the case, yeah. It's so funny. God, what was I was watching
Oh, here, I'll mention this before we continue. There was one instance where Drew Gulak and Chad Gable were kind of working together in that fatal four-way. Maybe they're going to start a tag team.
That'd be cool. I'd love to see that. That'd be rad. I'd love that. Yeah, it's funny. Golly, I forget. I was listening to Something to Wrestle With, and Conrad was trying to get Bruce to say that Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I honestly forget which WrestleMania. Maybe it was the Lawrence Taylor one.
11.
Yeah, and he was asking why couldn't that have been a tag match to hide the fact that Lawrence Taylor is not an actual wrestler. And he says, and Conrad was saying, is it because Vince doesn't Vince will never have a tag team match as a main event of WrestleMania. And Bruce was like, no, it's just there hasn't been one that has been presented as one. He was like, well, what about a couple of years ago when Ronda Rousey was in a tag match against like three of the biggest names in WWE, Triple H, Stephanie, and Kurt Angle? Why wasn't that in the main event? And he didn't really have an answer. He was just like, no, it's just, wasn't the time. Anyways.
Oh, that's funny.
Poor Bruce.
So we get a Hardy and Sheamus recap, and then an announcement for next week matches. We get Metalik. I'm getting his name wrong. Grand Metalik versus AJ. Naomi versus Lacey Evans, and Bayley versus Nikki Cross for the women's title. So should be 3 fun matches.
Good slate of matches there. After that, we had our main event, Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy in a bar fight. So Sheamus shows up first. His own personal bartender is there. Larson, I have a sneaking suspicion this guy is not a bartender.
No,
the way he awkwardly handled bottles, his towel. The towel really threw me off because he tried to do the cool, like, sling the towel over the shoulder thing, but it was like a little tiny hand towel, and it just sort of, like, fell onto his... It was
like a washcloth, huh?
Yeah, it was a washcloth, exactly.
Yeah, that's not what you use. You had Danilo, the ref, sitting at the bar, looking bored. When Sheamus rolls in, Sheamus is asking for a shot of whiskey. That's when Hardy arrives. He settles up to the bar, takes a seat. Sheamus like, hey, you want a shot? Jeff says no. Asks for a cup, and there's some back and forth. He says, Hardy says, Sheamus wants you to know something. He pours himself a glass of beer. He tells Sheamus that his brother had to delete his WWE career. He has to recover his. Says sobriety has changed him. Sheamus is like, no, you're weak. No one cares about you. And then Jeff goes on a bit of a thing about how he's connected to everything. That light, that TV, man, even this bar. And Sheamus goes, no, I'm the bar. Something they talked about a little bit earlier. And Hardy, you're just a pathetic junkie. And that's when Jeff Hardy tosses a cup of beer in Sheamus' face. The fighting begins.
I like that. I like when Hardy gets a little weird. How he says, I'm connected to everything. I am this bar. I like that. I thought that was cool. It's cheesy, but it's him being creative. I like that. I've always liked that about Jeff Hardy. He's not afraid to get kind of weird and corny in service of letting his creativity flow a little bit. I think it's cool.
Yeah. So this went all over. It's a pretty small establishment, but it went all over the place. They fought in the bar. They took it back to the bathroom. They got the Papa Shot involved. That was great when Jeff Hardy, seemingly at full speed, was chucking little mini basketballs at Sheamus.
Oh, he wasn't.
That was a highlight for me.
He wasn't pulling back on those little mini basketballs there.
No.
Hey, how impressive is that Hilton still has that one in his backyard and it still works?
He's had that for a while.
I know. I designed the backboard, the scoreboard for it. I did a pretty good job with that.
It was like it's like a dozen years ago, man.
I think it was 2005, wasn't it?
No, I think it's 2007.
Was it? Okay. All right.
I think so.
It was the year that I did Comic-Con, so it would have been between 04 and 09.
Was it 2008?
Maybe I was back by then. It would have been, maybe it was 2008.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It was a long time ago anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, they go to the bathroom. Jeff gets his face shoved in the urinal.
Oh.
Sheamus flushes it. That's nasty.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah. It's bad memories, man. He takes Jeff over by the mirror and says, look at you, you're nothing but a junkie. And then Jeff tosses him into a stall. He exits. Sheamus goes looking for him. Hardy has a ladder. Bang. They brawl some more. Sheamus tries to hit Jeff with a guitar. He ducks it. Sheamus throws him into the drum set like it's a Nirvana show. And then you come back. He goes for a bro kick. Hardy blocks it with a snare drum. Sheamus' foot goes through it. He hits Sheamus with a twist of fate. He sets up that ladder near the barrel wall, drags Sheamus over to it, starts to climb a ladder. Then the bartender attacks him. Jeff fights him off, power bombs him through a pub table.
That was a nasty power bomb too. I mean, there was probably a big mat right there, but still.
Oh, just like there was on the Swanton too.
Yeah.
And then Sheamus comes up behind, hits Jeff with a chair, and that's when he puts his hat over his face, goes, pours himself a Guinness, drinks the whole thing, comes back over to him, tells the ref to be ready. Sheamus gets the hat off his face, and Hardy has the face paint, the contacts in. Then he gets a bottle, breaks it over Sheamus's head, climbs up the ladder, hits a swanton, covers him for the win.
Yeah. Like I said, I think a little bit more, I don't know, just atmosphere would have helped the match a little bit, but by and large, I thought it was all right.
Mm-hmm.
No complaints. I mean, look,
it was fine.
It was on an episode of SmackDown. I'm glad they didn't shove it in Extreme Rules. It probably would have been overkill with the Swamp match.
Yep.
But as far as main eventing a SmackDown, it's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and answer some questions. I have a thread right here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. $1 gets you access to that particular aspect of our Patreon stuff.
Yes. Mr. Dub says, where is there an open bar to fight in? It probably wasn't open. Some probably knew somebody and contacted the owner and said, hey, can we borrow your bar for an evening?
The enforcer in our
found the
mod chat found the place.
The Google review or something like that, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Yelp? What was it? Google?
Google. Was it Google?
Yeah, it is Google.
Google. All right. Let's see here.
I'm gonna see where it's at in relation to the Performance Center and stuff.
I know they had an Orlando Magic sign up.
Oh, that's downtown.
All right. Alex Foster. How would you guys do in a bar fight match as a team? What would you use in the fight, and who would be the best to work with in WWE? Man, I was at my old stomping grounds, Maxton's in Lancaster, California, and I was at the bar. It was a packed night. There was a band playing. And after the band was done, evidently one of the locals was talking shit to like the bass player. Bass player gets a pint, comes up behind this guy and just destroys this glass over the guy's head. And I saw like the wind up in my periphery, and I turned just in time to see this thing shatter into a billion pieces. It was pretty amazing. But then they started like, it was like a 5-on-5 bar fight match. And I had to go in and help break it up a little bit. I had a guy in a chokehold. And I was like, you need to calm down, dude. You need to calm down, brother. And he's like, oh, you got me, brother.
Yeah. I've never been in, nor have I ever really witnessed a real bar fight.
Yeah. It was pretty shocking to be in one because I'm like, not used to that kind of shit. But I don't know. I think I'd do okay in a bar fight. I'm pretty clever sometimes. All you got to do is get a bottle and throw it at somebody.
Just kick him in the front of the knee, man. Mike Lucas. Aesthetically, I like the look of the bar and thought it looked good on TV. I mean, it was a good-looking bar. It was a smaller establishment. It looked like it was recently renovated.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It looked cool. It looked fine. I'm not into bars like that are so skinny like that. I can't stand them. Too many people.
Claustrophobic.
Yeah, pretty much. Mr.
I was kind of hoping they'd find something, a little more hole in the wall.
I know. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, they could have dolled this
Atmosphere.
up to look like it's a hole in the wall, But it's very brightly lit.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see here. Go ahead. Okay. Christopher Rappersod. When Michael Cole brought up Bayley losing in her hometown, did you see Bayley broke character when he said that? Seemed like she was pissed off when her reply back to Michael Cole. I do like that Bayley challenged Michael Cole to a SummerSlam match. Michael Cole laughed about it. She had nothing to say when Corey Graves brought up the kendo stick, the Extreme Rules match. She did not come back from that one.
No. Nate, so I'm expecting Jeff to move the Intercontinental title picture, but what's next for Sheamus after this? Maybe he'll start another tag team or something. I don't know.
Feed him to Big E. Have
There
that,
you go.
because I don't know, man. Like, not a lot of tag teams. This is what I was going to mention. With Cesaro mentioning Big E the way he did, I don't know if they're going to want to have Big E get a win over like the new tag champion right now, because that's still pretty fresh. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they did do that to help Big E get one over on the guys that took his titles.
Yeah, then he can move on. Yeah,
maybe.
Fear and Loathing. I know Matt Riddle says bro a lot, but I think it's been up like 65% since he came to SmackDown. It's like Vince asking for more cowbell. Do you think Vince finds Riddle's use of bro fun? Do you think Vince finds that funny?
I think Vince likes him, and I think that he said bro a lot in NXT. I honestly don't see much of a difference.
No, I really don't either.
Honestly, it was more obnoxious in NXT than I've noticed on a main roster. It was only really funny when he's used it on Goldberg as a shoot.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm not your bro.
I'm not. Okay, first of all, I'm not your bro. Okay, you just lost. You just lost this one, Goldberg. Wolfpack for life. Who has had the most success with the dancing person gimmick? It's got to be the what's his name? The Funkadactyl guy. Funkasaurus.
Well, define dancing gimmick. You mean just dancing, nothing but dancing?
Well, eventually they wrestle.
No, I know, but like their gimmick is dancing, and that's it. Because like the New Day, they dance, but they're not just a dancing gimmick.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The Funkasaurus, that was a dancing guy gimmick.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Fandango is a dancing guy gimmick.
Yes, are we talking strictly dancing
yes,
gimmick? Okay.
Yes. So here's some other names. Alex Wright, Disco Inferno.
Oh, that's it?
I'm looking at chat. Okay, I guess maybe Too Cool. They did a lot of dancing. They did a lot of dancing.
Yeah, that was kind of the extent of their gimmick, too. I mean, yeah, it's probably Too Cool. They were tag champs.
R-Truth is more of a rapper than a dancer. He dances, but only in service.
Dancing is involved in his character, but it's not the full extent of his character. That was why I was trying to find that delineation. We talking about anybody who dances, but is dancing as part of their general presentation, or is their presentation solely dancing?
I would say, I mean, it'd probably be Fandango.
The most successful?
It was the most dancer gimmick.
I mean, that's literally what he was.
He was a dancer.
He was a ballroom dancer. That was his gimmick.
What was Brodus Clay? He was. I mean, he was. Yeah, he was supposed to be a dinosaur, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to be a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Jorge,
No Way Jose, of course.
Yeah. Well, he danced.
Oh, he was a dancer.
No, he was. I'm not. In NXT for a bit, there was more to his gimmick than just dancing. He had some intensity.
Like 1 week, dude, and it was against Austin Aries. That was probably a shoot. The Rain Trigger power ranked the coolest custom lower thirds. There is Bray Wyatt's, the Fiends, and Killian Cross. Aleister Black has his own.
Nothing beats whatever they have on Hangman pages every week.
Oh, just the different funny things.
They have little funny things.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Jorge D. Steve, how would you book an unsolved mystery show or segment in WWE?
I wouldn't, because Robert Stack is dead. Wouldn't touch it. Can't do it. There's no more Robert Stack, no more unsolved mysteries. I don't care what Netflix says.
All right, fair enough.
Can't do it. Because it'd be on top of it. It's like the WWE. They have. I would have one guy if I had to. I'd have one guy just explore all the unsolved mysteries of WWE. There's enough of them for seasons.
See, Chad here, as far as the dancing gimmick, brings up Ernest the Cat Miller, but he's also a 3-time karate champion.
That was his thing. It was a 3-time karate. I'm a 3-time karate champion.
Like Yowie Wire brings up Asuka. She dances. Dancing isn't her thing, though. That's why I wanted that delineation, because a lot of wrestlers dance.
Yeah.
But dancing isn't their only thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. At this point, I don't think Naomi is a dancer. Like, she is a feel the glow. Like, she's, hey, get excited. Look at all the cool glowy stuff that I got going on. Nemo, what is a worse jobber entrance? Being in the ring already when your opponent comes to the ring, or coming to the ring after your opponent during commercial, then they play your opponent's theme when they come back from commercial?
And that's possibly more disrespectful.
That's it.
Probably more disrespectful. Hugh Long Heavy asked, does Vince call Matt Riddle bro?
Yes.
He might do it sarcastically from time to time.
He's had him in his office. He's tried to imitate his thing while telling him what he should be doing. Yeah, that has happened.
Probably.
You go out there, you got your feet. You don't wear shoes. You have flip flops, and then bro.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan Daniels III. What would be the hardest wrestling T-shirt to explain to a non-fan without context?
The one Val Venus where it looked like cum.
Or the AJ Styles one.
The AJ Styles one that looked like cum too. Any shirt
the Val Venus one would actually be easier to explain given his vocation.
Okay, but hold on a second though. With the premise of that particular question, explain to a kid.
Well, it's not a kid. It's just a non-fan.
Oh, I
without
thought
context.
it said a kid. A non-fan?
No,
Okay.
non-fan without context.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, it's a porn star wrestler. Okay, it's okay. But then it's AJ.
That's pretty easy. I still don't understand why AJ's shirt looked like that.
It's like, what's the deal with that AJ Styles? Who's AJ Styles? He's a wrestler. Why does it look like cum on your shirt?
Is he a porn star wrestler?
No, he's like one of the best wrestlers on the planet. He's great.
Shane's birthday tweet. I thought the Fun Splash was the best bar fight move. No, that's Spanish Fly and Starship Pain.
This is a
best
good
combo.
That is the best combo. This is a good point. Jericho, Hugh Longheavy says one of Jericho's random shirts. The demo god is kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, you have to get into real minutia of TV stuff.
Yeah, the demo, the 18 to 49, is what advertisers really want
because they have the most disposable income. Duckman, given the lack of depth with tag teams, should they just drop one or two of the tag titles? NXT tag title is the only tag title now.
Yeah, dude. They should do the same thing they do with the women's tag title. Just one roving
Cross-brand.
tag team that goes cross-brand. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Because if you take all three brands, they've got a pretty decent tag division. But with if you don't, dude, Impact and AEW just have cornered the market on tag team wrestling.
They really have. They put they value it. That's why.
I know.
Ryan Rubik's Cube, what do you think Booker T thought of the Naomi, Miz, and Morrison segment tonight, given his comments the other day?
I'm not entirely sure that Booker T didn't do that to try to help her. Like, in the know. They're all in the know on it, So, I don't know. I don't know how he thinks about it.
Weathered Souls, my roommate's boyfriend and I be watching GCW Homecoming and Beyond this weekend. Will you be watching it all?
No, probably not.
No, I probably won't be. I'm just trying to do something. I could see a small program with Big E and Daniel, no heels, just Daniel testing E to get him ready for the main event scene.
Oh, that'd be rad. I'd love that. Man, I would imagine Daniel Bryan would probably just be itching to work with Big E.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even if it's just creatively. You would think, anyways. That freaking gif of him chewing on that steak.
It's the best.
Oh, it's just the absolute best.
Nate, do you think after tonight WWE needs to stop the cinematic matches for the time being simply because they've done too many? Yeah, I think they need to pump the brakes on those a little bit. Unless there's a real reason, they got a real interesting approach to it, don't do it.
I'll be honest with you, it doesn't bother me that much. Like, why not? I mean, it's not like they're precious. It's not like they're, it's like, why does it have to be a special thing? Screw it. Have all the matches out of the ring. Have them all be cinematic. I'm not actually saying that, but I don't know. It doesn't pump the brakes on it. Why? It mixes it up. It makes it different. We're in an empty arena era. It sucks having just like 50 people in the crowd, man. I'm for it.
White Brownie 92, should WWE consider merging the rosters together again just for now until the pandemic ends?
No. No.
Brian Lopez for Mania 37, instead of Randy versus Edge, would you rather see Cena versus McIntyre or Edge versus McIntyre?
Well, Cena has been erased from existence.
Yeah.
So
he has been deleted.
They said or Edge versus McIntyre?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd rather see Randy versus McIntyre. Randy's been putting in so much good work; it should be rewarded with a main event SummerSlam spot.
Yep. Night by night, what SmackDown superstars do you think would most swoon over the oddly poetic sesquipedalian musings of a madman's mind? I don't get that reference at all.
Wait, what is the question?
What SmackDown superstar do you think would most swoon over the oddly poetic? I don't even know what this word sesquipedalian musings of a madman's mind. That's what, 7?
Sesquipedalian? I don't know what that is.
Something. This means long words. Something characterized by long words. Long word musing of a madman. I don't get that.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about either.
Maybe he'll let us know.
Go ahead.
James Rodriguez, do you feel like Lacey Evans was turned heel because she wasn't believable as a face, or because WWE felt they needed to make up for the Forgotten Sons being pulled off TV? I think they probably just needed a heel in the women's division on SmackDown, and did that. I think sometimes it's like, okay, well, who makes a good heel? You know, they're not going to turn Naomi heel.
Yeah.
There's certain people that are not going to turn heel.
White Brownie says, Steve, your approach comes with a backstory for Riddick Moss, and I have to do the same for Shane Thorne.
Oh, wow. I would go back to the Riddick Regiment, which is, I believe, like a workout routine. I would, you know what I would do
with that, and then lost his first match, and then disappeared from NXT.
You know what I would do with him? I've always thought it'd be cool to do, and they've come close to this kind of thing before. Tom Cruise's character from Magnolia.
Okay.
But PG-13, obviously, because you can't be saying tame the, you know. I would do that. I think he would work really well because he could be probably pretty smarmy. I think that could be fun.
That's pretty good. I just feel like Shane Thorne is almost too much of a blank slate. Like you could do anything with him, but it's like there's too many options.
Yeah.
I just want to do something where he doesn't wear a shirt and just wears jeans all the time. That's all I care about.
That's good. Well, he
doesn't like wearing shirts. He doesn't like wearing shirts. That's his gimmick. I don't like wearing shirts.
Yeah. I don't know. If you wanted to get serious with it, if you wanted to like be okay, we're gonna push this guy, or at least see if we can get a reaction. I mean, he was in what was it his faction called? The Mighty Don't Kneel or something like that. I would like just have him be, I don't know, like a guy who did a bunch of, like, if he has a reputation for being like a real hard ass in Japan, you know, and now he's coming back.
And you the visualization of that, he doesn't wear shirts.
Yeah.
Zondo, you see Tales from the Dead Man yet? Does Timothy Oliphant sound like NWO Steve Austin? He must not be talking like this.
I haven't heard it yet, but I hope he talks like this. And then Xavier Woods gave him a gavel. Pin a fucking rose on you.
Did you hear about this? Crossface Chicken Stain. Enzo opening a wrestling school on OnlyFans is the most 2020 thing.
How you doing? Hey.
Yeah. Somebody suggested that we, depending on the price, that we check that out for our 24-hour stream. Start doing some lessons.
Fear and Loathing. If this podcast thing doesn't work out, how about a private eye agency with you both and the Enforcer?
You think you could ever be a private eye? If Enforcer was in, I would do it. If Enforcer was in, I would do it.
It's potentially a lucrative industry.
I don't know about you or me, but if Enforcer's in it, I know I'd be down for it.
We'd just be sitting around like chit-chatting when we're supposed to be working. Try to make each other laugh.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know how to work in that situation. Like, we'd be like, Enforcer, get us a lead, get us a case. And they'd say, okay, boys, let's get going. I'm like, all right, let's go solve a case.
Dang MQ, do you think that the Big E push is an idea of Daniel Bryan or creative? Or an idea of Daniel Bryan on creative, sorry.
I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that. I am curious about that.
Yeah, me too.
Steve Winters says, Dr. Steve Winters says there's questions on the Discord, so I'm going to go here and see.
All right. John Elite.
John.
Or John Elite. Elite. Steven Larson, do you think it's the right thing to put the Universal title on the Fiend at SummerSlam after what happened to him at Super Showdown?
Oh, dude, at this point, I don't know. The finish of that match where they're going to have Braun get drowned by Bray Wyatt and then lose to the Fiend also? That doesn't make Braun look very strong.
Yeah, they gave up on that a long time ago, though.
Dr. Steve Winters, if Big E wins a title out of this singles run, should he retain until crowds show up or continue normal storylines and let him win again next year in front of fans? Just do your storylines. Don't worry about when fans are coming back.
Yeah. Cyfexia, you guys are in charge of making a main event invasion pay-per-view with AEW versus WWE that extends for 2 nights. What are the main events?
AEW what? Invasion pay-per-view?
AEW versus WWE were your main events. 2 main events. What are they? One night you got to have Triple H versus Cody. That's one main event.
Kenny Omega versus
Seth Rollins. They've talked about that match.
Not Seth anymore. Kenny versus like Drew or something, right?
Roman.
Yeah, that's the match. Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho.
Be good.
That'd be cool. Snake Sosa says, being Irish, I'm glad they didn't go overboard with the stereotypes in the match. I hope he didn't see earlier in this episode. But the match seemed to have been missing something. What would you have added to it? I sort of mentioned this. Atmosphere.
Steve would added fog.
Atmosphere.
We got some other
Fog
ideas for
machine and mood lighting.
For this AEW versus WWE, Gareth says New Day versus the Young Bucks. That's main event worthy.
Yeah.
Dangam Q says Sheeta versus Asuka. That'd be good. Mr. Dub says Chuck Taylor versus Undertaker. Main events anywhere in the world.
That's hilarious. Bayley versus Britt Baker.
That'd be good.
Let's see here. Austin says, if you had to book a Big E Mania match, who would it be against? Big E versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Gets the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can think of anything that is going to impede his push, it would be that he has been, they don't let him showcase his serious side nearly enough. And they need to do that. I want to see that.
But I feel like they've done it enough through the years that we know it's there. We know, yeah, he's a laid back, funny dude, but when he gets down to it, he's not going to run away from a fight. We know that. We see him getting tense enough.
I want drama. But what two singles competitors would you guys team up to go after the SmackDown tag titles? Take out Gulak and Shorty G.
Oh, damn, that's going to be my answer.
Well, you already said that.
Exactly. That's why it's going to be my answer.
Well, I need another answer. It's like nobody. Who else on SmackDown even is? Look at that fatal four-way. Oh, God.
Mojo.
Oh, no. You know what I would do? This is not answering this question at all. Once Cedric and Ricochet are done with Hurt Business, send them to SmackDown.
I mean, it is answering the question. That's the tag team you would have. But I guess.
Well, I didn't throw two guys together, though.
Let me see. We throw two guys together.
Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink.
They're already a tag team, man.
Are they?
Yeah. Sheamus and Mojo Rawley. That's my team.
Rick Booge and Mojo Rawley.
Tony Nese and Wesley Blake.
Rick Booge and R-Truth.
R-Truth is on Raw, man.
Rick Booge and NWO Dexter Loomis.
It's Ridge Holland's his name.
Shorty G and Damian Priest. And they can't hear each other because their heads are so far apart because he's so tall and that guy's so short.
White Brownie says Corbin and Mojo.
Rick Booge and Gronk.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
I got a couple more here.
All right.
No, these questions aren't very good. Discord really needs to step their game up. Yeah, that's actually kind of all of it. I was gonna.
All right, very well.
Horny Henry had like what I thought was a question, but this isn't really. He just and then in the end he says that he's drunk. So it's not really a question.
Not really a question.
Anyways, try next time, Henry. And thank you, Dr. Steve Winters, for pointing me towards the direction of Discord because I don't check that nearly enough. But I have been ever since when we were uploading episodes. I've been saying, "Hey, Discord, go leave a comment on today's video, and I'll stick around and hang out with you guys."
There you go.
And then I have to take a shower right afterwards because our Discord is gross. Thanks everybody for watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.